Hello crypto cats, my name is Tom and I am the crypto investor, and it's time for our weekly market roundup, and we start of course with a heat map of the top 100 coins in crypto. And you can see that overall we are slightly red, not that deep blood red that we've perhaps been used to, but we are down a bit on the week. Ethereum is down 5.5% at 2100, Bitcoin 3.5% down at 33,500, Doge getting pummeled down 14%, as is ICP down 20% or so. No real surprise there. But we do have a beacon of hope, and that is in the DeFi space. DeFi has had a cracking week. Terra Luna up 31%, Aave up 12.5%, Compound up 11.5%, Synthetic Networks up 50%, cracking token. So, we have got some hope to be found there. And I'll go into why kind of DeFi is doing well in a second when we go through the news pieces. Another way I want to show you the market is in this fun crypto bubbles fashion. So, the benefit of this is that we didn't just notice that KuCoin is up 80% this week, for example. They're releasing their own smart chain. They've got, you think about how well the Binance chain did and how much their coin pumped on the back of that. KuCoin, massive exchange, doing the same with their KCC equivalent. So they're up 80% on the back of that. And, this is still a coin which is at 77th place in market cap, of only $1 billion market cap, and an impressive exchange it is. So essentially a good value proposition even after an 80% jump this week. AXS, I hadn't heard of them until recently, so don't blame me if you haven't. Up 173%. This is effectively it's like a game not dissimilar to something like Pokemon in the crypto space, where you get paid to play. So the more you interact with the game, the more AXS you earn. From what I understand, a very accomplished team behind the project deserve all the growth they're seeing this week and last week. So yeah, AXS, really strong week, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more and more kind of games taking on this kind of structure. And as I said, we have seen a good week in DeFi. So let's jump into some news pieces and talk about what is going on. First of all, I want to show the fact that Ethereum has now got the lowest amount of Ethereum on exchanges that we have seen historically. So this is monumental for Ethereum to have so little on exchange. It's a very bullish sign in what is still quite a bearish sentiment out there. So this Ethereum, I'm sure that DeFi plays a big part of this. It's getting locked in DeFi, it's getting locked in staking. People are looking to earn yield on their Ethereum and not leave it on these exchanges. So great to see that, and that kind of warms my cockles. Give me some encouragement there. JP Morgan are behind this sentiment as well. JP Morgan saying that ETH2 could kickstart $40 billion staking industry by 2025. I would say, and the rest. Jamie Dimon recognizing that that Ethereum as an asset could be paying huge yields in the future, and I imagine they'll be looking to snap up as much as possible. I think once we cross the EIP 1559 threshold, once we get past Ethereum 2.0 rollout, if that is all achieved successfully, or we have to go back to the drawing board and then rework it and achieve it successfully, then sky is the limit as far as I'm concerned. NFT sales. Many people thinking NFTs, that's a fad, that's done. It is not. Their sales have topped 2.5 billion in the first half of 2021, and they show no sign of slowing. NFTs are much more than just a meme. Think of NFTs as helping the whole creator economy. Anyone that makes content, be it art, music, or such, can release their product as an NFT. So think of a musician who puts together a piece that says you can use it in this advert, but it will be time sensitive to only work for 10 versions of the advert going out in these regions that I agree with, and then and then it will become encrypted once more. So think about that application of what NFTs will mean for the digital economy. And of course, when you think of NFTs, don't forget that you're saying that is Ethereum. DeFi NFTs are effectively saying Ethereum. They're built on the Ethereum network, so they need they encourage the demand of Ethereum. Okay. Circle. So Circle are the creators of USDC, and they are going public. They will be releasing on the Nasdaq as a SPAC. And so this is the second basic company in this space really of much note to be going public since since Coinbase did, and they are coming in with a pretty chunky valuation of $4.5 billion. And there's some rumors going around, not rumors, but speculation that, they could potentially be the US dollar stablecoin that the government does end up adopting or working with. It's not as crazy as it seems when you think that the Fed, for example, is not a government entity. They're a third party that work for the government, in effect. So, maybe that's what would be happening with Circle. Long way off, but USDC is, of course, what Coinbase use. 4.5 billion may be very, very, very cheap in the future. It'd be interesting to see how the stock price performs once it does go public. Now, I mentioned DeFi, and so we have Compound, for example, are launching their DeFi treasury for institutions. What this is effectively saying, we will give you 4% return on your investment, and you don't even need to get your toes dirty in stablecoin space. You can give us US dollars. Think about it staying on this side of a firewall, and we will give you a 4% yield on your US dollars. And this is allowing institutions to find yields that they can't get anywhere else out there. And this could lead to an avalanche of demand once more and more institutions have the gumption to adopt DeFi protocols to earn yield. And this is what Bankless Podcast is referring to, the DeFi mullet, which I quite like. You think about these fintech companies and other institutions, very smart at the front, turn it around and they've got this big, cheeky DeFi mullet at the back. And we will probably see this mullet growing more and more. Aave, another company in this space, offering Aave Pro, a lending platform for institutions as well. So another one as such. And another one as well of note is the creators of the DeFi Pulse, or the DPI Index, if you're aware of that, is the Index Co-op. So this DAO effectively creates ETFs in the crypto space, so themed bundles of cryptocurrencies. So you could have NFT-based ones, or gaming-based ones, or blockchain-based ones, whatever it may be. Index Cooperative do that, and they've just raised 7.7 million this week from Galaxy Digital. If you think of, they're basically the BlackRock of the crypto space. So think about the potential upside for a company like Index Corp, and they still have a tiny market cap. Really like this coin, really interested and excited by it. Okay, what else do we have? TikTok have banned the promotion of cryptocurrencies by influencers on their platform. Brilliant. I'm fed up of doggy coins and bullshit scams, and this was only a hotbed of dodgy content as far as I'm concerned, and this has only added to people getting scammed, and then the likes of Binance getting scrupulized, can't do it, in the UK, and so this helps to ratify and tide up the space for the excellent content that is being created out there. So good to see, to be honest. Santander add their name to the list of banks which are no longer allowing UK customers to deposit with Binance. So Santander following Barclays, TSB, NatWest, Nationwide, lots and lots of banks jumping on board. And this isn't under pressure from the FCA, and it's not Binance the company which is being regulated in the United Kingdom. It is that's Binance Markets, so there's no reason why they shouldn't allow deposits with Binance, but it's obviously they recognise that this is a significant threat to their legacy banking system, and they want to do anything they can to stop the development in that space. And so that's really from where I'm sitting, what is happening here. So yeah, more banks will likely follow, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see other exchanges added to their lists in the short term. Okay, and we have a date for EIP 1559. August the 4th is when Ethereum will become a deflationary asset. This is when we will see, with every transaction on the Ethereum network, a amount of Ethereum will be burnt. And so we will then start to see the total supply of Ethereum going down. This is a biggie, and it's happening on August 4th. This is very exciting. So we now have a line in the sand. Of course, this depends on how successful their testnet is. So far, we've seen 80,000 Ethereum burnt, and it's looking good. But there is still, of course, the final tests that have to be made. But we do have a date. Should nothing go wrong, August the 4th is when this will come into place, which is very exciting indeed. And it brings me round to that classic kind of ultrasound money meme that we had back in September last year. Bitcoin, of course, is sound money. We won't have more than 21 million Bitcoin that can ever be mined once we get to the year 2140. Wow, thought that was good. Ethereum, ultrasound money. Once we get to this maximum, this kind of supply, we're basically here right now at this zenith, and then we will actually have a decreasing supply. So one better, really. We will see the number of Ethereum continuing to go down after August the 4th, which, think of the tokenomics of that as we get increased demand through DeFi, through NFTs, and goodness knows what else that will be created on the Ethereum network. We will then also have a deflationary asset. Amazing. If you like the content, by the way, please do give a thumbs up. Please do subscribe. Please do share it with your mates. It really helps. We're at 990 subscribers. Really want to get to 1,000. That'd be nice. It'd be really nice. Okay, let's take a little jump into the charts. And starting, of course, with Bitcoin. But I've cleaned up the chart, and I just wanted to have this one simple box. There's not really much to go into other than we just continue to consolidate. I said once we came down here back in May, I said, just prepare yourself for boring. And I said that we would likely consolidate here until September or so, and then we'll make a decision. And that really is all that I see happening. We are just going sideways. It's dull, and just go out, enjoy your summer, enjoy the football on Sunday. Come on, England. And, hopefully we will break to the upside. But until we really cross one of these two major thresholds, there is very little to be said. And so what I wanted to look at next was, we will come back to Ethereum, but what I think the main talking point really this week on the charts is DeFi. So if we look at the DeFi index versus Ethereum, we can see that, let's just bring my charts, there we go. So we can see that, we came down, we found initially support at 0.13, we came back up, found resistance at 0.28, come back down, we broke 0.13, and that looked really bearish for DeFi and had me a bit concerned, if I'm honest. But we have since got back above there, and we are now looking like we might be marching back up again. So as I said, it was a very good week for DeFi. Let's see if we can now get follow through in that. But if that institutional demand really is there, if the fintech players, think of it, Revolut and Monzo and N28 are going to start offering yield to their customers based on dabbling in DeFi, then my goodness, how far could this go? We're living in a low interest environment. There's no real sign that interest rates are going anywhere for at least a couple of years, which is a perfect fertile bed for DeFi to really gain some institutional support here. So keep a close eye on this. Let's see how DeFi does here. But we kind of have our first little grass shoot, poking its head above the soil here. And let's see where DeFi goes from here. Quite exciting move. Looking at Ethereum, I can just jump to this chart. Again, much the same as what we saw really with Bitcoin. We have an area of consolidation down here and this area of consolidation here. And frankly, unless we break 2000 and break this lows that we saw at 1730, then there's not too much to talk about. To be honest, I would welcome it. I really would love to grab some cheap Ethereum down in the just over 1,000 or so. I would, if we do get a news piece like a strong regulatory change come into play, then of course that could really spook the market, and I would be grabbing as much Ethereum as I possibly could. You have to remember that the Congress are meeting and discussing the regulation of cryptocurrencies, and they've set a deadline of the 28th of July when they will be making a decision on this. And so that's, until we get past that regulatory finish line on the 28th of July, we're going to have very choppy markets and bearish markets, really. So expect this to continue for at least a few more weeks or so until we get a decision one way or the other. But not really much we can share from a technical perspective. For now, short term, 2000 needs to be holding for Ethereum. Looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Overall, Ethereum was gaining strength this week versus Bitcoin up until around Wednesday or so, and then it turned around, and we actually saw, Ethereum had been gaining quite significantly versus Bitcoin, and then the last 3 days has given back those gains and turned around quite significantly. And it's since building momentum versus Bitcoin, Ethereum has come back down. Maybe we come and test this lower limit here, coming in around 0.058 or so. Anywhere around here is, for me, an opportune moment to be converting a bit of Bitcoin back to Ethereum. And maybe we have to just finish this kind of wedge pattern before we then get that breakout for Ethereum and we start taking out the 50% flippening of the market cap of Bitcoin. We will see, but I would expect these lines to very much hold for Bitcoin. It was for Ethereum, it was 600 days of building momentum before Ethereum got above here. So expect this to be strong resistance. Support, sorry. All right, just looking at the Bitcoin dominance. So again, basically we're just going back and forth sideways in the same way that we need Bitcoin to break out to the, for the markets to break out to the upside. I think once Bitcoin's dominance breaks below this key line here, that's when we'll really see the market picking up, and it's going to probably be moved by Ethereum. Once Ethereum begins to rip, we'll probably see this line broken, and that's when it's going to be another kind of alt summer again for that space. Which brings us on to Ethereum's dominance. So if we haven't looked at this in the past, really Ethereum's dominance only been above 20% once, and that was during the the Cambrian explosion of ICOs back in 2017. So 20% is the big line for Ethereum's dominance, and it just came and tested it in May, rejected again in June. So that, I think that's where the 50% flippening will also kind of coincide for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. But overall, Ethereum continues to grow in this widening channel, and a widening channel means higher highs and lower lows. So it's certainly on the upward move overall, Ethereum, based on this big kind of macro channel that we are in. Okay, and I mentioned, of course, Index Co-op, this cryptocurrency, which the ETF provider. So I just want to show you quickly them on the charts. This is versus Ethereum. It had been under pressure for most of this year, really. Well, this is since March, but continuing in this downside trajectory. That £7.7 million injection has stimulated the market. It could well be a turning point for this cryptocurrency. So we will see how it goes from here, but this could lead to a nice sustained upward movement for Index Co-op as well. So that's just something to have on your radar. Finally, looking at the market cap of crypto, you can see that we're at $1,358 billion. Overall, we're just still continuing to drift somewhat down to sideways. Not looking particularly encouraging. We need to hold above this kind of key $1.2 trillion level, really, where we had this bunching and consolidation here. So that's kind of where we're at. Not in a upward momentum state right now. Finally, I wanted to finish by sharing with you my favorite Twitter thread of the week. If you're not familiar with Croissant Ethereum, fantastic Twitter handle. He, she, it's a croissant, put this brilliant 24 thread piece together about why Ethereum is extremely undervalued. So I will put a link below in the description, and you can go through these 24 reasons yourself. But it is a really awesome piece, and some of the points that I've made in the past are in here. I really particularly like this one, for example, from last week, which was showing that this is the number of developers that Ethereum has compared to other cryptocurrencies. Here's Bitcoin, Cosmos, Polkadot, etc. And it continues to gain more developers by a country mile as well than the other blockchains. So this, just that for me is the moat. As long as you have that moat, it doesn't matter if there's a better technology. You have the network effect, and that network effect is what, for me, that's what holds the value. That having that moat apart from your competitors is what gives Ethereum its advantage. So just so many within this thread, there are so many gems like that I encourage you to go through and read for yourself. All right, that's it for now. If you're still here, please do. I really appreciate it. Please offer a like and subscribe. Have a little comment. Tell me if there's things you like, what you'd like me to change. And also, don't forget that I am just a guy on the internet. This does not constitute financial advice. Have an excellent weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.